Pokémon, a franchise that took the world by storm and defined the childhoods of many. It has only gotten more popular with time, but what was Pokémon like way back then? More specifically, how has competitive Pokémon changed over the years for those striving to be the very best? Now that is exactly what we are here to find out. In this series, Jeexx and I will embark on an adventure to be the very best, exploring through time and space to rediscover Pokémon's past formats. In each episode, both of us will bring two teams and battle it out in a best of 3 match, and the one who wins with both teams first is crowned the champion of the episode. We hope you enjoy this trip to Pokemon's evolution with us. Welcome to the Pokemon Progression Series, A Journey Through Time. Generation 5, Unova, with Black and White and Black and White 2, was the first region to not be based in Japan and instead was based on parts of the USA. It added a hopping 156 new Pokemon, the most out of any generation, and had some insanely powerful Mons for both singles and VGC, like Excadrill, Ferrothorn, and the Jinx, just to name a few, but definitely was the first generation to introduce a lot of power creep into Pokemon. It also added hidden abilities as a mechanic as well as Scald, an incredibly flexible move with good base power and a high chance of inflicted burn, as well as Gems, a series of items that give a once per game 50% boost to a move of its type when used for the first time. Generation 5 also finally removed the defense halving mechanic from Explosion and Self-Destruct, drastically decreasing their raw power. However, none of these changes defined the 5th generation as Weather did. Often referred to as the Weather generation, abilities like Drizzle, Drought, and Sandstream now brought permanent weather into battle, often referred to as Auto Weather, only fading upon a new weather play being applied, resulting in many weather wars in almost every single match in Generation 5.
What is up, guys and girls, ladies and lads? Welcome back to the Pokemon Prog series. This time we're doing Generation 5 Monotype. It's our first time diving into Monotype. I couldn't be more excited. I couldn't be excited. I've had trouble speaking this week. I don't know why, but I couldn't be more excited. I absolutely adore Monotype as a format. I think it's so cool, and especially like the way we're doing it is essentially whatever 2 types you do in a generation, they are now locked for you for the remainder of the series. So by me playing what I'm playing today, which is Psychic and Steel, that locks me out of playing Steel and Psychic for Monotype for the remainder of the series. We just figured that this would make things more interesting, because full transparency, I would be bringing Steel in most generations otherwise, and that's kind of the reason. So let's start with that. That's kind of the reason why I'm starting with Steel. I figured, you know what? It's always going to be like, well, I think I could play Steel. So ultimately I decided, let me just knock it out of the park right off the bat. Let me start with Steel, and then I'm not going to worry about it for the remainder of the series. And it also comes out now pretty nicely. Obviously, it would make sense to save Steel for later because of, what's his face? Because of Fairy only comes out next generation. But you know, I figured that, you know what? Let me start with probably my favorite type, and quite possibly my least favorite type, which is kind of a funny combination to start things off. But first, starting things off with Steel, we do have Heatran here with Air Balloon, Flash Fire, Hidden Power, Ice, Earth Power, Magma Storm, and Taunt. I'm running Air Balloon because obviously Steel into Ground if Jeexx ends up going for Ground if he wants to play a Sand Team or something. Not really a good matchup, so that's why I have Hidden Power Ice here as well. I'm not even running a Steel type move on Heatran, because obviously we have plenty of Steel type attackers otherwise, so I didn't really feel like I needed it, so yeah. Scizor is here, STD, Roost, Bullet Punch, and Bug Bite. This is going to be our sweeper. I want to be winning the game after I bring in Scizor and click Swords Dance once. Like, that is, I'm not even running U-turn here, I'm just going all in. I'm bringing it in, I'm clicking Swords Dance, and I'm killing stuff. Nothing really crazy there. Same thing with Ferrothorn. This is a set that I kind of grown to like. Max out HP, 128, defense, 128. Special with a careful nature. It just, a nice clean 330 defense and a special defense. It's just the bulkiest thing that's ever existed. And it's here to be a really annoying. Thunder Wave is going to help Scizor sweep and protect, Leech Seed, Power Whip. These are just here for us to be as annoying as possible. Maximize our recovery, chip on Mons that we have Thunder Wave, and I've decided to go for a Power Whip instead of Gyro Ball, because of what I said earlier. Once again, like that's the neat thing about Monotype. You don't always need to have all of your Mons actually have the stab move for whatever type you're doing, because you have so many of them, so you can be more flexible. And obviously Power Hit Whip hits the ground types that I was talking about earlier, which is like the type that I'm probably most worried about here. Then we have Excadrill here with Mold Breaker, Life Orb, Iron Head, Rock Slide, Earthquake, and Swords Dance. Another setup sweeper here. But this I can just bring in and click stuff as well. And Mold Breaker obviously really nice for specifically if we're running into electric as a team, because if you look at my team, I do have 2 electric weaknesses here, and obviously being able to hit stuff like Rotom and Electros through Levitate for super effective damage is really nice. So yeah. I think every time we've seen Excadrill thus far, it's been run in Sand, which makes sense, obviously. So it's been like Sand Rush or Sand Force, but now Mold Breaker makes an appearance. And then I do want to be setting up some hazards. So we do have a Skarmory here with Spikes, Whirlwind, Roost, and Brave Bird. So I'm going to be setting down Spikes. I'm going to be phasing stuff away, and Skarmory is just fully invested in defense. I was thinking of running Rocky Helmet, but I figured that I want Skarmory to be have as much longevity as possible, so I instead went for lefties, and obviously Sturdy is gonna let us live something like a Fire Blast or something if Jeexx ends up going that route. And kind of the equivalent of that, we have Empoleon here, Stealth Rock, Toxic, Scald, and Roar here as well. So Empoleon is our special wall, and we do have phasing moves here as well. Toxic, obviously, well, you want to have one Toxic in your team most of the time. Scald obviously for the physical attackers, and more what's his face? More hazards that we can set. But I think this team is like super solid. Like we have a grass, water, fire core in here as well. Like I don't think we have like 2 quadruple weaknesses to fire, but we have a Flash Fireman, which is also why Heatran is obviously really good. Like I think this team is like super well balanced, and like Steel, it's never going to be a bad type. But the other one, kind of out there, and ultimately I decided on this because the triple mythicals form a pretty nice core, and Starmie obviously gives you, for Psychic, it gives you a spinner, so you can get rid of hazards as well, which is nice. So Slowbro is obviously incredible, an incredible pivot, and the thing ultimately here was that I didn't want to, like, I want to save Dragon. Like, Dragon, I knew for a fact, like, when I started looking at it, I'm like, there's so much more cooler stuff later, so I'd rather play Dragon later. But this is one of the last times when we can still abuse, like, Broken Draco Meteor with 140 base power, and obviously Latias can do that, which is really nice. But part of it was just, like, I thought it was just cool to start things off with in Monotype with essentially my favorite type and my least favorite type in the entire game. But let's take a look at what we're dealing with. First, our mythical trio. We have Jirachi here with Stealth Rock, Iron Head, Protect, and Wish. I've decided to go for the Cleric route. My favorite Jirachi set is actually a Scarf set with Iron Head, Body Slam, U-Turn, and Fire Punch, but I don't really need that here. This makes more sense here, so we have made Jirachi our rocker, and also obviously having access to Protect Wish, we can Wish Pass to any of our other Mons here, and Iron Head with Serene Grace. Nothing crazy there. It's a 60% chance to flinch. So if you're below our speed tier, good luck playing the game. Victini with Choice Pant. Usually I run Choice Scarf, but this time we need the punching power. Our team is very bulky, but it doesn't really have the wall breaking capabilities. So Victini is coming out swinging. Like Banded, Bull Strikes, and V-Creates are going to evaporate whatever we're clicking it on. Obviously, you need to turn on a Choice Mon. And then Trick is here as well, because we look at the team, like we have decent wall breaking capabilities, and like we have some status here, but breaking through really bulky teams with this team is actually going to be very difficult. So I have not only Trick on my Banded Victini, but I also have Trick on my Scarfed Latias. And the reason for this is because we are going to be trying to get through those bulkier teams, and it's going to be a lot harder. So having ways to cripple defensive walls is going to be really nice, and especially for something like Latias, but also for Victini, like getting a leftovers or something, like it's going to be pretty nice. But since I talked about it here, I might as well talk about Latias, our Scarfer, a Dracometer, Psychic, Healing Wish, Trick. I don't really need anything else for apart from the stab moves. Like I was thinking something like Energy Ball, but we have Celebi already, and apart from that, like there's not really much here. The other thing I was thinking of was Thunderbolt, but because we have Thunderbolt on Starmie and we have Wall Strike on Victini, I think more of the time, like I would rather be clicking these on these Mons, especially because obviously if we're clicking on a water type, Starmie resists the water moves, and Victini has it obviously to deal with water types that might come in on Victini. So yeah, Healing Wish is just nice because we, as you'll see in a little bit, we do have a setup sweeper as well. So if we can set them up to sweep with a Scarf Healing Wish, bring it on into something that's maybe been crippled before or doesn't really do anything right now, it's kind of nice. And obviously we can also just go into bring this thing in, a Choice Scarf trick something on a defensive wall, and then if it decides to stay in, we get a free Healing Wish onto, for example, our Celebi, and then Jeexx needs to switch, and we get a free Nasty Plot. So Celebi, I'm maxing out its offenses this time around. I don't have a Psychic type move on this. I explained this with Ferrothorn earlier. And we have Nasty Plot here, we have Recover. Celebi is naturally obviously very bulky, being a mythical with 100 in everything. So lefties, Nasty Plot, Recover, like this thing is going to be quite hard to actually deal with unless you have a direct check for it. And Earth Power is here obviously as just a more flexible move than a Psychic type move, and we have plenty of Psychic type damage to go along already. And then Giga Drain obviously doesn't hit stuff like steel types, for example, so we have Earth Power here. Obviously if you have a flying type, like it completely walls this entire set, but that's why we have multiple electric moves. We're trying to deal with that first. We have rocks, like we have ways to deal with that before we go into Celebi. We do have a spinner here in Starmie, Rapid Spin, Recover, Thunderbolt, and Scald. So I also want this to have longevity. Obviously Starmie is really nice because you can also absorb status. We have two natural cure ones here, so really nice, but most of the time obviously I would rather absorb stuff on Starmie. I'm not maxing out its speed because Starmie is already naturally so fast, so I would rather go in a little bit more bulk. This was a stolen EV spread that I thought made a lot of sense. I wish I remembered off the top of my head, like, it was multiple things that you can live with this, but, I've said sometime in the past that, I won't worry about, like, talking about specific EV spreads anymore, because my team breakdowns are so long anyway, but yeah, Thunderbolt's called, nothing really crazy, here. And then finally we do have here our dedicated physical wall, Slowbro, and this time, as I was talking about earlier, that I wanted to go for the longevity, but Slowbro having one of the most broken abilities in the game in Regenerate obviously means that I can validate Rocky Helmet, especially because for a Psychic type team, if Jeexx just has a bunch of pivoting, like you can pretty freely click U-turn against my team, because it's super effective against 4 of my 6 Mons, obviously. So being able to do some chip on the way if Jeexx is just clicking U-turn is really nice. Otherwise, Flamethrower, Ice Beam, Scald, and Slack Off. Nothing really crazy here. Basically, it's just usually the difference of like, are you running Fire Blast or are you running Flamethrower? I just like the consistency of Flamethrower. And then, you know, we have ways of dealing with other stuff here. Scald obviously is a broken ass move, so it's really nice. And yeah, I think I'm really happy with both of the teams. And I think like both of these types are really, really good for Generation 5. And I actually I think the Psychic team is even cool. Like I said, I'm not really the biggest fan of Psychic, but I think like Generation 5 definitely Psychic is most set up to be cool, so that's why I'm also playing it, and it just worked out nicely with like, let me play my favorite and least favorite type in the first Monotype episode. But that was a lot of yapping. Thank you for watching the team breakdown though. Hopefully you enjoyed Jeexx as well, and afterwards I will see y'all in the battle zone. So see you there.
Okay, so we are doing Gen 5 Monotype. I am playing Ice and I am playing Poison. We got Cloister with Silver Smash, Rock Blast, Ice Blast, Icicle Spear, and Hydro Pump. I'm double checking this is the one that I want. Yes, I was thinking, I think it's Icicle Shard. Ice Shard, yeah. I was worried that I was mixing those up. We got Skill Link with Life Orb, and we got a Mamasan with Focus Sash, Thick Fan, Earthquake, Stealth Rank, Ice Shard, Endeavor. Obviously, the idea here is that I would click Thick Fan, and then I click. Oh, not Thick Fan. I have a Focus Sash, so I have this guy, and I click Endeavor when I get hit, and then it ends up with me going to fucking 1 HP, and then I use Ice Shard, and I kill you. That's the goal. Obama Snow with Chapel Berry, Snow Warning, Leech Seed, Protect, Giga Drain, Earthquake. Chapel Berry was something that people had on, and I didn't really... I don't know if fighting is gonna be something that I'll be playing into. You can make the argument that I shouldn't bother with this, solely because of the fact that it's a monotype thing, and there's zero chance either of us are playing Fire in Gen 5, because Fire just gets better. But it's also true for fighting, and so on. But I think I'm not gonna go out of my way to add a random thing. You could make the argument that, oh, having fire is just a good idea because a lot of Pokemon just get Fire Blast for free. But I don't think that this thing is surviving a Fire Blast, even if I have a fucking not a Yachi Bear, the other one, the one that reduces fire damage. Then we have Kyurem Black with Choice Band, Terravolt, Outrage, Dragon Claw, Fusion Bolt, and Ice Beam. With Speed Investment, X Speed Investment. Is Giga Fast, got Choice Band for Giga Deeps. You can make the argument that I shouldn't be running Choice Band, but Choice Scarf instead. But hey ho, we'll see how this goes. Frost Slash, Choice Specs, Curse Body. I would be running Snow Cloak if it wasn't banned because of Evasion Claws. Blizzard, Shadow Ball, Thunder, Destiny Bond. Obviously, the idea is that I can fucking chunk you with these, but I can also kind of catch you off guard with this. I would probably prefer to be running something like this on literally any ghost type other than this. Like, I have a Gengar that ended up changing quite a bit, but obviously the Gengar that I had in, I think it was the first doubles format, which has Destiny Bond and Focus Sash, I would probably be rather running that. But because I also want to have a special attacker, I feel like this is a fairly solid pick for that. Obviously, we have a bunch of other physical attackers, and then we have a Walrein with Lefties, Ice Body, Substitute, Toxic, Protect, Surf. And that's like, I don't know. This is gonna be super obnoxious if it gets set up. Then we have a Poison Monotype team. Focus Blast, Thunder, Sludge Bomb, Shadow Ball with Life Orb, Levitate, and Giga Fast. Black Sludge, Rain Dish, Scald, Toxic Spikes, Rapid Spin, Protect, Giga Fast. Nidoking with Life Orb, Sheer Force, Stealth, Rock, Flamethrower, Ice Beam, Earth Power, Giga Fast. Black Sludge, Regenerator, Stun Spore, Hidden Power, Ice, Giga Drain, Foul Play. I wanted to run Spore, but it's banned, obviously, because sleep moves are banned. Then we have Skuntank with... Oh, give me a second. Skuntank with Crunch, Pursuit, Sucker Punch, Fire Blast, and Crobat with Rocky Helmet, Taunt, Super Fang, Brave Bird, and Roost. Anyhow, I think these are gonna be fairly solid teams overall. I think this Crobat is kind of goofy, because originally I was thinking of running like a Toxic, U-Turn, Protect, Roost set, but then I was looking around. It seemed like people rather run this as like a more of a supporting mon in terms of using like Taunt to prevent you from setting up, and obviously having Super Fang for pretty much chunking things that are too big to get one shot or too big to actually be dealt damage. And then Rocky Helmet makes it so that you have to actually be dealing contact with me to actually get anything going. And then Roost obviously kind of de-incentivizes you from doing that as well. And Brave Bird, it's like the only good flying type move that exists in the game, bro. I mean, I guess acrobatics too, but like, come on, man. But yeah, that about does it. Good luck with the games. We should just stop doing the call right now, and we should just,
True.
So, truing? Any truers? True?
Everybody is truing. It is our final singles venture of the generation.
Good fucking riddance. Holy shit, this fucking gen has been going on for forever.
It's been long, but I think this is the first time... Actually, no. Yeah, Gen 4 just didn't have RU. But there's a lot to Gen 5. Obviously, them having their own format for the black and white one format. Now the introduction of Monotype, 3 different VGG generations. People like Gen 5.
People enjoy the 5th generation of Pokemon.
This is true. I cannot confirm, but yeah.
Ring. Me personally,
Mm?
yeah.
I see. That's awesome. My
I mean, the
Monotype.
best part about Gen 5 is the fact that Caesar is fucking cracked, bro. Like, best mod in OU, most used mod in OU, sorry.
What do you-
Monotype, though, yeah.
What do you think the likelihood of Caesar showing up today is?
Very low, actually.
Whoa! Damn.
Because I think there's better bug types that come out later, and I think there's better steel types that come out later.
Yep, I
So-
mean, that's the
don't
thing that I was talking about with Steel type is Steel being one of the only things that keeps Fairy in check, and Fairy doesn't exist yet. Smog.
Yeah, I really think that if there's any changes to typings in Gen 10, they should probably try to make it so that Bug has a better interaction against Fairy, because it feels like it's the kind of type that you wouldn't really be using for anything else. So if it has a place in the metagame as being something to also now deal with Fairy, Fairy actually has two really good answers to it in the form of a Bug type and a Steel type. And then the Bug type is weak to literally everything else, so it's not too good.
I think
that makes
it's even like you can justify it by like it making sense too. Whereas like Bug resists a Fairy and would be super effective, and both are like tiny creatures, but Bugs are like the Fairies are gonna be like, ew, that's disgusting.
Yeah, that's like originally my thinking, where I was like, arguing for why bugs should be strong against fairy, and it's like bugs are disgusting and fairies are like pink and pretty. Like, come on,
Yeah.
guys, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, I think there's an argument to be made, and I think it just makes perfect sense from both a balancing perspective and the logic perspective. So I am hoping that happens, but we will see.
And then Caesar busts the door down. He's like, "Surprise, motherfucker!
The
4x
big-
resistant to fairy."
Has like a thingy on his shirt that says like #1 fairy hater.
Yeah.
Fucking takes 25% damage from the deals 4 times damage. I fucking hate
Priority with a
fairies.
fucking swords of hands and it's
Yeah,
like, bang.
#1 fairy hater. But any thoughts on Monotype before we played? Because this is your first time playing a Monotype format.
I mean, I built my teams last night because I realized, oh fuck, my teams are gone. I forgot, and I ended up making, as I already discussed, a poison type and an ice type team, because for ice types in this generation there exists a fucking. He's in the team, okay. Cloister's in the team. Shell smashing,
he
way
is
to victory,
The
obviously.
only Ubersmon allowed in Monotype, I think.
And so it's like, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna fucking put this motherfucker in because the ice type team is dog shit later on, and I don't think there is a world where I will be playing it again.
That's very fair.
And for poison, it's a case of Gengar still has levitate, and there's other stuff in here like Skunk Tank and Among Us as new mons that are fairly cool, fairly nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, regardless of what happens, it will be
where
very
the
impressive
ice
if you win
versus
today.
Okay.
I will tell you.
Oh, am I against fucking rock and ground?
I will tell you. There is literally.
Oh my god.
You have the single worst possible type matchup when we consider 2 types together that you possibly could have in a monotype if we account for all existing types. I'm not joking.
Great. I'm so excited. I was legit thinking, I don't think ground is showing up, so I think poison is gonna be fine, but I think rock or fighting might show up, so ice is probably gonna be foot washed, so.
But yeah,
And Terrakion is illegal.
maybe I'm setting myself up for the craziest hacks of all time, but even if that happens, I will be very impressed if you win today.
Okay. So what you're saying is, I just gotta fucking lock in and blow you the fuck up with my cloister. Got it.
The thing that I'm saying is that even if you win, with Cloyster, the poison team is gonna have a quite a rough time.
No, surely it's not pure psychic and pure ground. Surely not. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, you wanna jump into the games?
Okay, so real quick. As I said last night on your stream, I think I have the worst names ever in the series
Oh, yeah.
today. Yeah, and Ruga just said, "Okay, never mind. You deserve to lose with those names." Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I quite like my names. I think the first team that I'll play, it's nothing crazy, but I think it's neat. But it'll be interesting for my second team if you can see what the commonality between my 6 Pokemon and that team is. I'll be interested to see that.
I'll do my best.
But yeah, I think without further ado, I think we'll build this up pretty well. I'm very excited. As I've said before, like Monotype is one of my favorite formats in anything ever. I absolutely adore this format. So I'm looking forward to this. And yeah, best of luck, and I will see you after the games.
Good luck.
Yeah, so poor Jeexx he's brought ice, poison into psychic with double water types and steel. Now, he was talking so much about Cloyster. I think he's probably going to stop with the ice team. So I'll go into, because if I start with my steel team and I go steel into his ice and then I go psychic into his poison, it's like, it's the worst possible scenario for Jeexx. So I think we'll at least make it, more feasible for him. And in my defense, I have made these teams multiple weeks ago. I did not counterpick, I assure you. Okay, at least we got this. Obviously, Kyurem is scary, but, we can do something here, I'm sure. So, do we see a rocker? Mamos one is a rocker, but as we saw last time, the scariest thing here that can happen is immediately I go up against Cloyster, because that's the worst case scenario. So I think my Starmie has a really good matchup into both of those things. Like Kyurem is gonna be probably the scariest thing. I have a Scarf Latias, which I don't think Okos it with Draco. It Okos it with Draco, and it's not even close. Okay. Huh. Alright. Hail is gonna be annoying. I will say that much. Like, dealing with Hail is gonna be annoying. It's definitely not been 2 minutes yet. So that's gonna be annoying. I actually think his team is really cool. But yeah, I've learned my lesson, and I have to give a Cloyster the, I gotta give Cloyster its flowers, and Starmie has a good matchup even into Mamo. Like, obviously, I would take a lot because I'm not a physical Starmie, but Starmie leads well into his rocker and Cloyster both. Because if he is Sash with the Thingamabob, obviously that's gonna be harder because I don't have priority in my team, but Thunderbolt has a chance to do its thing. Yeah. Now, if this thing is banded, it has a chance to OHKO me. If I get OHKO'd, what do I get after? I can bring in Celebi for free, kind of for free. And what else happens? Not much. Even if it's banded, it's unlikely to kill me, and I have a 30% chance to burn. So, this thing doesn't get water absorb. I don't think there's a penalty to me clicking Scald here. I wouldn't expect this thing. I'm expecting him to run a like bulky, thick fat Mamoswine, because obviously fire is really bad into this. So I think like both Wolverine and Mamoswine here are gonna be thick fat, which I think is really good for a like ice team. But like I said, like I think his team is really cool. But obviously Scald is 30% chance to burn. If he brings in Cloyster, I break the Sash, I burn it. This thing does make a lot of sense. Let's see a burn. No burn. That's fine. We do have lefties here. Obviously, this thing does have a grass move, so I'm gonna get out of here. The issue is I don't have great ways of dealing with this outside of Slowbro. But I think like going into Slowbro, I think is not the greatest. The thing is like, what does this thing want to do? It could lead sheet as well, which I think like he has a really safe lead sheet here. Obviously, kill this thing with V-create. How much? I don't take probably that much. Blizzard freeze would be scary, but I'll still play this. It is lead sheet. Okay, so he's gonna protect here, and I want to see if I kill this thing with flamethrower. I do not, but he was protect here, so I will just be switching out my Victini instead of U-turning, because obviously U-turn gets blocked by protect. I'm expecting lead. It could be just this. If this is like the usual set, like it makes us it also. We have Swassy and Snassy thus far, so I can see now why Ruga was saying you deserve to lose with these. But U-turn even does a lot. I don't think there's any world where he stays in if he's not clicking protect. And if he switches into anything else, like I'm still fine going into Slowbro. My Slowbro has Slack off as well. Because his Abomasnow is really good into my team. I doubt he would give me this thing for free. Frostlass not being the suicide lead, it was kind of also surprising. So I do wonder what the Frostless is for this team. Yeah, there's the protect. And now I'm threatening flamethrower, which obviously is good into everything that he has. It's very obvious that I have it when I brought this thing in like this, but I'm very physically bulky even if he has Woodhammer, like I'm not that worried. And obviously flamethrower hit everything except for these two for actually these three for super effective. Obviously he has two thick fat Mons. Oh, he's fast. Interesting. There's the flamethrower. He lives barely. And now I think Leech Seed is too risky for him, I think. I don't think he would Leech Seed here. I still think going for Victini is the safe option, just in case he pivots. Now, notable here, I am running Choice Band Victini except for instead of Scarf. Yeah, just a Giga Drain again. I think that was safe play. I do kill this thing with U-turn. I think if I'm him, I'm always protecting though, because he gets guaranteed chip. I don't think he wants to give me this thing for free, but I think like saving it at this low life, I don't think makes that much sense. I do really want to get Rocks up. And Jirachi is obviously good into his team, but yeah. There's the protect, yeah. I could have called this out, obviously, but I think it's not worth it. U-turn again. If he plans to give me this thing anyway, like he obviously should go for double protect, but the chance of that working are only 33%. Even if he switches, if I can get Rocks up, then I should be chilling. There's an argument to be made that I should have brought Jirachi. I should have brought Jirachi in earlier, but the issue with my Jirachi is it cannot do anything to Cloister, and like I can solo lose to Cloister. Like that's the lose condition. Like even these are like pretty neutral matchups. I still think I'm favored a little bit, just based on our team compositions, and I can still solo lose to Cloister. There's Cure in Black, and this is pretty good. Now this thing, I don't think it gets anything crazy. The issue is if it goes Hone Claws, like that's the scary shit. But I do think, yeah, I do think this is time when I get Rocks up. The issue here is speed tag him? Oh, were we speed tag? I didn't even realize, I'll be honest. I don't know what he is, but I will go for Stalfok. Now, this is a pretty obvious play, and if he goes Cloyster here, I think he wins. I'll be completely honest. I think if he goes Cloyster on this turn, I think he wins. But I am basically banking on him not seeing that. He's very low on time, so it might be that he doesn't see it. So, but if he goes Cloyster on this turn and clicks Shelf Mass on his following turn, I think he's just won. Okay, that's Frostlass. That's good. Now, I am expecting Destiny Bond, I think. He could be taunting me, which is the scary thing here. But part of me really wants to wish. This thing is going to be way faster than me. If he wishes now, and I go... Sorry, if he taunts and I go wish, and then I can just hard switch, it's still fine. I'd rather wish. Shadow Ball. Okay. So he's offensive. Let me click Iron Head. Is that Scarf damage? Alright, I will wish again. Because this thing dies, like, getting rocks up into his team is obviously really good. Okay, there is Kyurem. I think I tank everything. I'm just gonna click Iron Head here. There's the Outrage. Is this banded? That did so much damage. I can protect the other one. But I don't think I need to, because he's just gonna get confused. If I was gonna say unless he crits, like, he isn't killing me, so. And let me protect here. Okay. Well, they didn't protect, but that's still good. But yeah, like, Jirachi obviously insanely good into his team. And now we break the sash on Cloyster when it comes in. I think he's realized it's mostly over. The scariest thing here is, can I still beat this thing? Like, I am not kidding. I still don't know if I can beat this thing. Don't be White Herb. Okay, he isn't White Herb, which is good. But there is still a chance that I just lose this thing. Like, that's the scary part here. Like, you need to understand, this is the, like, scariest mon that oh, okay, never mind. He doesn't have a water type move, I guess. Life Orb, interesting. But yeah, I have a steel type into a bunch of ice types. How much does Draco do? Let's see. Enough. Rain. I don't need to do any of this stuff that I'm doing, by the way, but you know. I could go for a perfect sweep if I went into obviously Starmie. He doesn't have anything to do to Starmie, but there's no point. It would just be BM. Maybe it wouldn't have been BM. It's Ice Buddy. Interesting. Okay. We got ourselves a game still. Oh yeah, wait. It's Ice Buddy, not Thick Fat, so this should get rid of the thingy. I assume the last move is... Oh, it didn't? I assume the last move is... what's his face? Yeah, Just protect. I'm sorry, I should have played for my condition. That's my bad. Walrusy, Frostlassy, Cusy, Clussy, Swassy, and Snassy. That's toxic. I have natural cures, obviously. It doesn't really matter. I don't do that much with T-Bolt, but I'll drop a T-Bolt, then I'll switch, and actually I don't need to switch. It depends on if he goes for substitute or not. Okay, well then I'll just stay in and click it again, because obviously I'm not taking any damage from the serfs. This Warren is going out fighting though. I respect it. But yeah, we know the entire moveset now. There we go. This. And at this up. Yep, makes sense. And now we go. Switch out. We have the Healing Wish on Latias, which is obviously really nice. Oh, he thought I was gonna stay in. Interesting. I could Healing Wish here. I don't need to. I could just Draco here. Obviously, the moment I trick this thing, I just win. So, Surf. Now he... Actually wonder, would he set up the Thingy-Bob or something else? The substitute? But another question is, how are you gonna... me? Because I can also... If he wants to... This, he can't Toxic me, so... I can PP stall him. Which, since it's gone to this, is genuinely going to be my best play. So, give up. It's not... I didn't want to do this, man, but at this point, you brought this upon yourself, so yeah. I mean, at this point, I guess we're PP stalling him out. Now, mind you, obviously, this isn't what I was trying to do here. It's better to go Iron Head. I save more PP this way. There we go. I'm not the one doing this. I'm playing for my win condition. I'm making sure that I'm winning here. Surrender. Why? I don't need to surrender. Why would I surrender? Because the moment he runs out of substitutes, I can just trick him with Latias and the game is over. Sure is. I'm faster, so I could just flinch him now, but I don't want to flinch him is the thing. So I do this as he's a tap sub. And I shouldn't die to... How much did I take from Surf? 17.9. Buffeted by the hail happened. Because how much did I take? Yeah, the hail happens first, so I can't do that. I need to save this for Healing Wish on this. So instead, I'll go Slowbro here. Okay, there's some PP out of that. That's very good. But yeah, obviously, I have the PP of all my Mons still. Toxic only 16 PP as well, so let me do this. It ended up being a really fucking funny one, I will say that much. By the way, like, you can speed using, if you're watching the YouTube video, I do recommend hopping like 15 minutes is probably what this will last, like, hop like 15 minutes ahead. I don't need this on this. I'd rather get it on Slowbro here. He has 12 more serfs.
I will drop one flamethrower here. And then I will go back to this. And now I'll go for a wish healing on my own guy. The protect is obvious, so he should press Toxic here. Don't think so. I have some more wishes. He has... Okay. Because... Yeah. Yeah, I just can't being Starmie in, and... Obviously, I could also do Nasty Plot stuff with Celebi and just one-shot this thing, but this is way funnier, though. I'll go for another wish here. And just be careful with, like, how many wishes I... And I say I need to be careful, like, I will not be losing the set unless he gets, like, 16 crits in a row. So, you know. It's not something that I actually need to worry about. This is where he sets up a thingamabob. So I could go Starmie and click something on Starmie here to immediately fade the substitute, which would escalate the process, but I don't think I need to. I think it's better, yeah. I wish here. And actually stay in and break this myself. It is. Now, does he expect me to break this now is the question. Because if he does, and he does... Actually, if he does another substitute, I don't care. But yeah, obviously, I have a guaranteed win here. It's just about, I'm just waiting for him to run out of PP. He has 5 more surfs, so the moment he runs out of surfs, like, I can actually bring in Victini to start blowing up the these thingamabobs. So, yeah. But, like I said, there is still a chance that I lose this if I don't play it the correct way, which is why I'm doing this stuff. But like I said, like, I do recommend skipping ahead. But yeah, I don't need my iron heads for anything, so I'd much rather, I think, use the rest of the wishes here to actually do this. Three more surfs. I can just click Iron Head. I have so many protects. And he sets up sure. There's another sub. Spiritually? I'm having fun, Loki. 2 more surfs. I have 4 more wishes, so I can use one here. I don't think he... I mean, even if I lose this, it doesn't matter now. But I don't need to. I don't need to risk it with the Charmy. I feel like it's better to heal my Latias up here. Nice. So here we go. And he has so many toxics, so he wants to click one here. So I will go directly back into this thing. And he has one more surf. And he has no more surfs. So, yeah. I was gonna say the game is now over. Yeah, the game's been over. Smoj. Effort. Victini gets to play now. Yay. I think that counts for something. But yeah, obviously I have all the tools here, so. But yeah, that's like immediately you saw there where I went like, I don't want to BM and go for a 6-0, and immediately I went for a slightly unoptimal play, and he actually got positioning out of that. So always play to your outs because they might present themselves. But yeah, now unfortunately, that was Jeexx's better matchup. That was the matchup he had a chance in. I don't think there is, unless he gets turbo lucky or I turbo suck ass. He's playing poison into the type that is immune to poison. So yeah. Good luck to Jeexx. Yeah, so good luck. I did tell you.
Okay, thanks for games.
The funny thing is, I said the reason I went for a psychic first. I was like, he was building a cloister so much, so let me at least do so we get at least one matchup where he can win. Because this ice into psychic is the only matchup in all 4 potential matchups where you can do anything.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I'm immune to your stab moves, and psychic obviously I resist them and I fucking blow you up. And ice into steel, obviously. Once again, terrible matchup, and yeah.
Yeah, good games, yeah.
So you remember when I said like, I hope you can figure out what my names were for?
Wait. I didn't even look, bro.
Oh no, for the steel team.
Oh yeah, I didn't even see, bro.
Yeah,
I was out of there.
It was Magic the Gathering related.
Oh, damn.
And now you'll never know.
I will never know. Here, this GIF. This GIF is how I'm feeling right now.
I mean,
GG, shake my hand.
You brought the poison.
I brought poison. I played poison.
Okay, you didn't play poison. You brought poison.
I mean, I played poison.
You did not.
I brought poison and it was plain.
No, one of those statements is true. The other one is not.
It was played. It did hit the board.
It wasn't played. You brought the team. You didn't play it. If you sit down on a team preview and you immediately leave the venue afterwards, you lose that game, but you didn't play the team.
If I sit down and I see that my opponent is playing a full counter to my team, like at the table, and I go like, yeah, okay, I think I'm good. I played that game. That counts. On the record, it says I played that game. And I went 0-2.
You did go 0-2.
That's what it'll say. I did go 0-2. That's what it will say. Which means that game was played.
That game was not played. I have videotape evidence that wasn't played.
I'm pretty sure the evidence is incorrect and falsified because I am quite certain that the game was played. A game was had.
Was there other like yeah, obviously you talked about like Gengar beforehand, but was there other idea other than getting poison out of the way?
It's the worst type in the game.
Because that's what I said is I think it's cool for the first monotype for me to bring my least favorite type and my most favorite type.
Yeah, the 2 best types in the game, by the way.
Also, I mean, Steel is just the best one, and Psychic for now is still like really good as well. It is also true, but it is also kind of fun too.
It's kind of fucking insane to think that these 2 types, because Ice and Poison, right? They are absolute dog shit, as they are.
Well, for now, Poison gets way better, obviously, with Fairy type being added.
Yeah, but that's like it gets one matchup. Right. It's kind of a bummer that they don't even have a good matchup outside of grass at this point, right?
For the
Yeah,
most part,
grass is
yeah.
the only thing that they're good into, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's also it resists fighting, which is obviously good. It's poison is a defensive type, obviously.
It's a good secondary type, essentially. Like if you have a mon that is something and poison, it's not horrible. If you have a ghost poison type, that's pretty good. If you have a water poison type, that's pretty okay. If you have a ground poison type, that's pretty good. But the part about it being poison isn't the thing that makes it good. It just happens to be like, well, this could be a pure ground type, or it could be a poison ground type.
Defensively, it's actually in a lot of cases it's better to be monopoison. There don't exist many monopoison types, but monopoison just as a defensive type is really good because your weaknesses are psychic, which is dog shit, and ground, which is good, and that's it. And you have good resistances in like fairy and fighting.
You're weak to EQ.
Yeah, but
It
a
kind
lot
of
of types
like,
are weak. Steel is weak to EQ,
yeah,
so
but with steel, it's usually offset by the fact that they're bulky enough to actually take a hit. Whereas a lot of poison types is like, well, if you do hit me with an EQ, I just die.
yeah, I mean that's what I was
Like,
saying about the like there don't also just exist many monopoison types, but it's like if you're just thinking of the type itself, like the type is good, it's just what the
yeah,
Pokemon are around it.
it's like for psychic itself has been kind of fucking shit stomped because of the fact that it was the best type in the game in Gen 1 and it was so broken, and then they just made things that specifically exist to counter it, and those things happened to also be exceedingly good in other things. Like for example, like Dark obviously being immune to Psychic, which makes it really scary to be using Psychic type moves, but also Psychic lacking the kind of utility that like electric types have, because electric type is still good because it has a lot of good utility, whereas psychic is pretty much solely reliant on either gimmicks in the form of like trick room or setting up or even like straight damage. It doesn't really get to do much outside of that, whereas every other type like poison, grass, and all of these, even though these are fairly, I would say that these are good types in terms of power, they still get to have utility. Like poison toxic is really fucking scary, right? Like that game, if you didn't have Jirachi, if you didn't have a psychic steel type, I think it would just been done, right?
Well, I
Like
had two natural cure mons. One of them had also recover
right.
and nasty plot.
Yeah,
So
but like
it
that's
might
the
seem.
kind of thing.
I mean, it is scary. It's
Yeah.
always been one of the better moves in singles. Why it's been nerfed multiple times. But yeah, like I was literally talking about it in my team breakdown. Is verbatim. I said. The thing that this team will most struggle is into bulky teams and breaking through bulky teams, which is why I having two different natural cures and healing wish on my Scarf Latias, so I can actually deal with status spamming bulky teams.
Yeah.
Is
And
the thing
that's
that I'm running.
exactly what both of these were gonna be. These do that.
Yep.
And that's it. That's all this type can really do, and all this type can really muster, especially like at this point.
I mean,
Obviously
in
later.
Monotype, yeah, for the most part. But yeah, like Poison as a type itself, like, I mean, it's like top 5 Terra types in the entire game because it's like you have Steel, obviously, you have Fairy, obviously, those are the two best types in the game. It makes sense why they're good. Water, pure water is like the goat when it comes to defensive typing. That's really good as well. And then after that is like Grass is really good because it stops powder moves. And then you have Poison because once again, the great defensive profile.
Yeah.
But obviously that is for the content when once again we're just looking at the type and ignoring the Pokemon that are in the type. But yeah, I mean my sets weren't anything crazy. I was running Balloon and HP Ice on Heatran because obviously if I'm running into ground, which is also why I have two water types in the psychic, because it's like if I run into ground being one of your two teams, this is gonna have a hard time beating that, and then also I will have at least two water types to deal with the ground types in the other team, and obviously Heatran just slots really nicely into the team because I also have two quadruple weakness to fire. Flash fire helps with that, and
Then it was just a like pretty standard team. I was running Power Whip instead of Gyro Ball on Pharaoh. It was my like usual 330 in both defenses, Ferrothorn. Scizor was double setup with Swords Dance and Roost with Steel Jam. Excadrill was also SC with Life Orb, and obviously Mold Breaker helps deal with because Electric on Ground is. I also thought of one pair like that was my first ever like two teams that I came up with this for Electric and Ground, and obviously Electric has the Rotom forms and Electros that are really good because they have Levitate, so Molt Breaker, Earthquake obviously ignores that shit. And then Skarmory and Polian were both just setting up hazards and whirlwinding and roaring to stack up passive damage, which is also why Heatran is running Magma Storm to just add a bunch of tick damage. It's a bunch of like bulky, annoying mons to pave the way for Scizor or Excadrill to sweep late game. But ultimately, I end up with this more because Electric was one type that I actually think gets really cool in the later types. So I didn't want to blow my load there just yet.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you about those names, but what were the names for the mons in your poison team?
Doesn't matter.
All right.
They're like absolute dog shit.
I had Eminence Commanders from Magic for my steel teams.
Hell.
But yeah.
Those are pretty good choices overall. So far, Monotype is dog shit, and I personally think that it's bad, and I would like it to go away. But I did win that first match, though.
Sorry?
I did win that first game, though.
So far, we've got the person who's gone 0-2 has insisted that he's won the one match that was actually played, and the match that wasn't even played, he's like, okay, but we played that match, though. I respect it, though.
We ran that set, though.
I mean, if anything, you are LARPing the Hardstack Iron 2 League player really well. It's like, dude, this game is so fucking poorly balanced, and if I was on the balance team, I would fix everything here. And it's like, brother, you are 663 games with 42% win rate in Iron 2. Why are you talking on Twitter?
I mean, me personally, I think I would change it so that I could have used Spore and Amoonguss.
Well, I mean, the cool thing about Showdown is that if you're high ranked on ladder, there is a good chance that you actually get invited to the team that literally makes the tiering and the balancing decisions for the different clauses in this game.
You're so right.
So that's the cool thing here.
So what you're telling me is that the Pokemon Showdown balance team is a cabal filled with high-ranking players that personally hate sleep moves and hate everything about Breloom and Amoonguss.
That is exactly it.
Fuck. We need to take down the cabal of evil Pokemon Showdown.
Yeah, we're ending this episode before Jeexx makes more of a clown of himself, so hopefully you enjoyed that single game of Monotype, but trust me, it wasn't there wasn't much to be missed when Jeexx would have sent out his poison types into Inala Archmage, so...
What the fuck am I gonna do, bro?
Lose, that's what.
Like losing at Champ Select is arguably not as much of a thing as that was.
Yeah,
that was literally gonna be like, I can't even use my.
I mean, the moment you lose your fucking Nidoking, you're dead.
Yeah. I mean, I can use my Crobat with Taunt Super Fang to deal some damage, but that's about it.
Yeah, you can use your fucking paralyzed Crobat to hit into the entire team of leftovers, and
so excited.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him for that. I blame him for bringing dog shit. But hey, shout out that if nothing else, we have set up the floor for Fairy type to pop off, because Steel is gone for me, Poison is gone for you.
I'm never playing Fairy.
Okay, there are generations where
Fairy
fairies
types.
low-key cool.
I hate them.
I
There's
mean,
only one fairy type.
you are just a fairy type hater because like this is the psychic type Ankh that is like it should have been me.
I mean, yeah. That's how it is.
I mean,
It's true and real, bro.
It is just like modern and better, psychic in a lot of regards.
Which
but hey,
kind of feels like a bummer.
But hey, you have the matchup into poison types. You are the one who can hit Sneasler for quadruple super effective. So don't let anyone take that away from you ever.
Oh yeah, it's fighting poison, right? Yeah.
It's a cool typing. I really like.
I keep thinking for some reason that it's normal poison.
It's like that. Sneasler is a piece of shit, but the typing is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna do it for us. A short episode this time around, but probably for the best with everything. But there in the first one. But I also it was funny where it's like I said it already on like my side of the recording, but like always play to your outs because I was literally went for. When I just clicked Draco again on Latias, like I literally said, like I could just go into this thing and get the 6-0, but I feel like at this point that would be BM, so let me just escalate this because I think we're both trying to get out of here. And then you'll pull out the greatest fucking Gliscor cosplay ever perceived, and I'm like, oh yeah, wait, if I position myself poorly here, I could lose. Well, not actually, because I have Jirachi and I have full HP Celebi. But there's like...
He could end up being a 1-6 instead of a 6-0, or like 0-6.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few monsters that realistically you could take out, but it was like... I was trying to first play, because obviously I have 2 Trickers also on my team, which I was also talking about, like the reason for that is bulkier teams, which I can obviously cripple really well, and Latias really appreciates taking your leftovers. So I was trying to play into that first, but then it was like, yeah, I mean, it's just safer to just play into the Jirachi win con, so. But that's it's not BM to play optimally, no matter what the scoreline of Mons looks. So always play to your outs and always play optimally, because sometimes it will bite you in the ass.
Yeah. Like if both of you assume the game is over also, and you make the play that you think is gonna beat the game, like win you the game, and then you end up losing for it, you should just like play it optimally. Just play optimally, bro. Instead of making an assumption on how you're gonna win or this is gonna be good enough, just always be trying to play the best you can. Because I remember personally having that moment when we played, I think it was OU, I think. But we had that moment where both of us thought Bullet Punch would kill T-Tar. And then it didn't.
Yep.
And that was like, oh, I thought that was enough. Yep. And and then after that, I obviously fumbled with the Gliscor. But the fact that I fucked that up, it just meant that I immediately lost pretty much.
Things can do. One turn can do a lot in Pokemon.
Yep.
Dude, I just now saw that. I fucking love Rugas. Yeah, no, I'm not mature enough for this today. Pieces out.
Didn't like my Clussy or my Snussy or my Memos.
I respect.
I mean, the comment about the fact that the Snussy has Giga Drain was also like, what do you mean by that? Oh man. Anywho. This was low effort.
I respect it. Sometimes you bust out the. I mean, I've had instances where in the Gen 3 VGC formats, I just put my Mons through a translator, and those were my nicknames.
Yeah.
And this guy's called his Garchomp, and there was another Mon that was also called, I think it was Archeops, that was just called Archeops, so.
And Amastar, I think, was called
Amastar. And so it's like he's breaking rules left and right, so, it's nothing new here. Jeexx cheating in the Pokemon Prog series, me cheating in the fucking Yu-Gi-Oh series, like, it's...
Summon Red Ice Dark Dragoon against me 4 months before Red Ice Dragoon is up. I'm gonna go cry.
And now we're bringing stuff about other series because he got humiliated that bad. It's a showing. Anyways, next time we will see you for VGC 25. 2013? Question mark? Wait,
should be
fuck.
2013.
Is it 2013?
I can't
This
believe
game-
I missed-
It's
I thought it was-
2011. What the fuck?
What do you mean?
It's 2011, 2012, and 2013. So yeah, obviously we'll
it's
start from
really-
2011. Dude.
Isn't it crazy to think that this game, like Black and White 2, was played 13 years ago still?
It is.
That feels
Cloudy, you did
like-
not miss anything. Jeexx came here with his
won the first match,
G-
and then we played a second.
won the first. Yeah, so it was a 6-0. I didn't lose a single Pokemon.
Okay, but it was close.
Yeah, so guys, I think for next time I'll try to replace this Austrian painter with somebody else. So if there is somebody else with me next week for VGC 2011, don't be surprised. Jeexx has
It's
been put in
2011.
prison, and
It's 2011, 2013. Oh, yeah, fuck.
he will be rotting there for eternity. No, real talk though. I think it was a funny ass episode, and you know, it's full stall teams are whack because it's like neither player gets to actually showcase skill really, but occasions where like there are obviously if it was like closer in that scenario and I actually had to worry about my PP economy as well, stuff like that is genuinely somewhat interesting. Obviously if it happens regularly, it'll get really annoying, but like every now and then, like playing around PP economy is low-key an interesting part that rarely comes up, but when it does, it's kind of cool. But yeah, obviously in this center, it didn't matter because I had 6 Pokemon worth of PP and Jeexx had 24 surfs. So
yeah, I do genuinely think that the matchup between Walrein and something else would have been more interesting because at the moment it feels like if I had something else to also attack with, if I still had Frostlash, maybe that would have worked out. Maybe things would have worked very differently. But the fact that I just decided, nah, I'm fucking done because I couldn't use the 2 Mons that I had left anymore.
yeah, because you just sent them into the rocks.
And I just sent them out because like, yeah, these are gonna die anyway, so I'm just gonna fucking eat them. I'm not gonna play around switching in anyway, so because the 2 Mons that I have left are 2 Mons that I need to have on board for them to do anything. Because like I need to have Cloyster stay on the field to be able to use Shell Smash, and I need Walrein to stay on the field to actually utilize Substitute. And switching it into the rocks is just gonna be more painful than keeping it in and using a sub or taking a hit and using a sub, for example. So I just felt like it's pointless to even have these here, so I'm just gonna eat them in.
And that's like the funny thing that I was so talking about is if your Cloyster was White Herb instead of what's his face, fucking Life Orb, there was still a chance that I lose, because it's like if you get out of the you would get to with White Herb you would get to attack 3 times onto Jirachi, and
but I need to deal 150%, right?
yeah, but it's like if 2 out of those things crit, then you're chill. Actually, wait, what's the speed stat on what's your Cloyster's speed stat at?
260.
260.
After
So
Shell
it's
Smash,
5. So it's
520.
5. So wait, because I'm 170. Oh yeah, okay, never mind. I'm okay. Then it didn't matter, because I was gonna say like it's faster than everything, but no, I have a Scarf Latias who's faster, so I can take the I take 2 of the hits. I get some chip on Jirachi. I sack anything at that point, it doesn't matter. I bring Latias in for free. I'm Scarf Max Speed Timid, so I'm faster. I Healing Wish. I get Jirachi back in full life, and now I can once again tank 2, unless you get 4 out of the 5 crits. So
Wasn't
and
it
then
10%?
obviously I just
Oh, yeah,
need
right,
one
yeah,
more
yeah.
hit, and then it's dead. So yeah, never mind. It didn't end up mattering. But I was literally there was like when you brought in Cloyster, I was like saying like if this is White Herb, I think there's a good chance that I just lose here.
Wait, I think a max roll was 38.
Yeah. Okay. That's without crits, right?
Oh, I'm gonna double check though. I'm gonna double check because I think I didn't put in the Cell Smash yet. I just remember taking a look at it, and it was nowhere near enough, and I was just like, yeah, I'm fucking done.
It was doing like 9
Yeah, it's
to
59%. So yeah, if I crit 4, 4.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Like, yeah, it was need a lot of crits, that's funny, by the way, because it was a 61 turn game with 0 crits.
Which, yeah, that's crazy. Like, actually, I think this is the first time we've ever had a match with no crits.
I think you might be right, because there have been some instances where it's been a couple where it's like those crits like didn't matter at all, and we've obviously had some where it's like the first turn of the entire game somebody misses a move and the other one hits a crit that okos back, and that's it. And yeah, it is kind of funny to think that the mechanic that is there exists purely to deal with stalemate stall matchups. The one time when we get like actual like hard stall situation, 0 crits.
Like, I genuinely feel like it's just karmic justice at this point. Like, crits don't exist for the sake of advancing the game state. They exist to make us feel bad. That's how it feels now. Fuck. He also, bro.
Wait, I actually, dude, this is perfect. So before I end this, I need to find one more thing. Oh, you don't look gay, Ness.
What?
There is a. Can I not? Wait, it's a TK Breezy. Wait, I can still cook. I can find this.
Okay,
there is.
Okay. You're cooking.
TK Breezy reacts to Smash TikToks. I need this.
Anyway, Claudia, how you doing? How's your week been? How is your weekend going? How is your Sunday? How are you doing, gentlemen? Guy, welcome.
I'm also recording for a little bit. I need to find this still on the tape. But yeah, I can't find it. Whatever. Anywho, we'll get out of here, and we will see you next time for the first VGC format of Generation 5, that being 2011. And we are almost done with Gen 5, and we're moving on to where I think it feels weird saying that almost at the halfway point, but I feel like Gen 6 is what feels to me like where modern Pokemon. So it's mostly because like a lot of stuff gets like more defined, like a lot of like mechanics get like smoothed out, like whether it gets standardized, like a lot of stuff gets standardized around this time. So yeah,
which is good. It's better that way, because I don't want to be sitting here making guesses over shit anymore. I don't want to be like, will this fail or will this hit me? There's no documentation available. I guess it will fail.
And you don't have to play 40 turns in Ice Body Walrein territory.
Yep. Without fucking any snow warning.
Yeah, but yeah, we will see you next time for BGC. Hopefully you enjoyed the streak of singles stuff that we had for Generation 5. It's been a lot, obviously, but we're closing in on Gen 6 rapidly. So we'll see you next time for some more VGC stuff this time around. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.